Hello, everybody, and welcome to the final webinar of our four-part series around smarter reporting. My name's Lucian Wynn. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Join, and with me today, of course, is Harry, who you're all familiar with and has, I think, presented every single one of these webinars. And yes, so thanks for joining. I think we've got a few people, so it's quite a lot of people actually just hopping on, which is great to see the numbers ticking up. We're just going to get warmed up really with a bit of a question. So today's session is around Join Connect, Join API, integration into Join. And we'll sort of touch on where we're going with our roadmap and how we see Join sort of delivering more value to you guys around bringing in other data, other financial data, but also non-financial data as well. So, but to start off, and I think we've got quite a few on there now. So, can you answer me a very quick question? And the question is, do you use Join API or Join Connect or the Excel plugin? And if so, please put your thumbs up, say yes. And then if for a bonus point, can you let us know what you use it for? So, do you export to an other system or are you just using the Excel plugin as a couple of examples? Hand up.
Okay, so we've got a couple of responses coming in the question and answer section. A couple from Philip, one from Jonathan there. So Jonathan's using it for the Excel plugin at the moment, which is kind of a fairly new part of the API and Join, something we're going to be touching on later. And then Philip's got he's kind of pulling some data out of Join to refine his reporting via a system called Endpoint, one I'm not necessarily familiar with myself. And then we've got Mark as well, who's also using the Excel plugin for his monthly reporting. Um, and he'd like us to speak to him about that one as well. So we'll do that one offline, Mark, as well. No worries.
Okay. Oh, some more coming, but should we oh, we got some others coming through, but let's crack on. We can refer back to these during the session. Harry, do you want to fire up with our slide deck?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
So, power up your reporting. This is the final session, and today we're talking more about the integrations. I don't know if you're aware, but hopefully you've joined the three previous ones, and we've been touching on things like our new AI solution, which we're getting some amazing feedback on. We've done a session on the Excel add-ins, and of course on our standard reporting. Today's session is, as I said, about new integrations. We will be looking at bringing in operational data. We see that very much as adjacent data to the finance function. But we're also next year we're going to be bringing out a bit more around forecasting. It's a really high value item. Loads of you have asked requests for that. So that's next year, but we thought we'd put it on here just to give you a real flavor of what's coming up in 2026. So Harry, do you want to kick on with the current state of play with Join Connect?
Yeah, perfect. Okay, so for kind of APIs, for those of you that aren't familiar, although I'm sure kind of a lot of you will be initiated in APIs around that kind of area, is basically a tool to connect two systems and pull data in between various systems. So it stands for Application Programming Interface. Um, and you'll be familiar with it in the sense of the way that Join works at the moment with pulling in financial data from Zero, QBO, Sage. Like we can see here, we've got some of our later editions, Puzzle and Penny Lane. And that's kind of how we initially were working with APIs. It was data from finance systems into Join. And I guess for those of you that aren't familiar with Join, we were doing that so you could pull in multiple financial systems worth of data and produce consolidated or group reports or franchise level reports, and allowing for the finance team to have all of their data in one place, rather than kind of using Excel. So that's kind of the state of play initially when it came to Join. Um, And like I say, Join does very much the heavy lifting for you. But we saw kind of a vision of not only having just financial data and Join, pulling in non-financial data and giving flexibility to pull data from various sources, other accounting systems that might be kind of made in-house by their own finance team, just for that own finance team, allowing multiple connections into Joins where we see it to do the heavy lifting for you and bring all of those bits of data into one place. Um, and kind of with that, and as part of the allowing Join to join to other systems, we launched initially an app with Zapier. So for those of you that don't know, Zapier is the biggest no-code API functionality system out there, basically, and it allows people who are non-technical, like myself and Lucian, even we can use it. It will allow you to kind of pull data from various systems. We initially created it a couple of years ago, and it kind of sat in a bit of an MVP phase, minimal viable product, and just sat there with some nice usage, but it wasn't getting that really great adoption. We've relaunched it very recently, and we're getting some great feedback and great adoption, allowing you to pull data out of Join into other systems. There's 7,000 pre-made applications already that you can pull data from Join into other systems. One particular use case that I've really appreciated someone coming and telling me about was they're pulling Join data into their Google Sheets dashboard, and they're tracking certain KPIs around cash and banking metrics. And that actually, when their Join data meets a certain point, cash goes beneath a certain point, they're then getting a Slack notification through Zapier again, telling them that this has happened and that they're ready to action that data as well. So that's a nice little use case of how a customer in a similar space to us, actually in the SaaS industry, is using Join and Zapier and Google Sheets in connection with each other.
Yeah, thank you, Harry. And this next slide really shows in a bit more detail some of the use cases. I think we need to go. We've gone on to the outgoing where we should be going back to the. Oh no, this is fine. No, it's my bad. My bad. I've got. So this is. So looking at some of the use cases here. Harry just mentioned Google Sheets. We have a lot of people using Power BI. It's quite, that's still a very enterprise-led platform. We've touched on Zapier. I think the one that we've really seen a lot of adoption, just especially over the recent months, is customer-specific data warehouses. And what that means is, again, taking Harry's terms, we're doing the heavy lifting, we're doing the consolidation, we're doing the hard grunt around the finance. And then the customer is taking and using our API, our Joiin Connect solution, and pushing that into their own data warehouse, and then using that to deliver, greater detail around KPIs, greater detail around their specific business reporting and requirements. So we've seen that as a really interesting development, haven't we, Harry?
Yeah, so it's something that we've like kind of particular use case, and this is kind of like a shining use case really for this one is our largest client, a big group of franchises out in the US. They're kind of 700 entities, plus with actually other sub entities and different connections across their suite of using Join, and they're pulling data points from each of those 700 instances of Zero into Join and then pulling them out again into their data warehouse and using it to connect and kind of seamlessly integrate those two platforms. And also, as you can imagine, that kind of scale, you can't be pressing the download button in Join or in Zero and then copying and pasting into a data warehouse. That's just not scalable for one finance team. So
Yeah.
we sit really nicely in the middle there, and it's something we're working on. And there's a little kind of sneak preview, a case study on that one's coming soon, Lucian, something we're working on as well, isn't it?
Yeah. And just, I think the word you just mentioned about the manual integration, Harry, that automation. So the API allows that automation. So you can do some really interesting stuff around just making that a very smooth transaction, a very smooth interface between two systems. And yes, the customer doesn't have to worry about, the heavy download, the time wasting. It all just gets done automatically. So yeah, very, very much seeing lots of very interesting use cases and lots of benefit to our customers, which is fantastic. Okay, do you want to pick up on what we're doing with the incoming API, which is just about to be launched in the next month or so?
Yeah, so this is being worked on by a couple of our developers, particularly Tony and Martin from Inside Join. And basically the incoming API for Join, we see a vision of Join being that central database of all of your accounting data, but also non-financial data, and being able to pull all of that into one place. So you can see some of the examples that we've got on the screen here, Zapier, Google Sheets, which we touched on, but actually pulling in CRM data from your Salesforce, Stripe data into Join, and then being able to report on all of those alongside your financial data, giving you that really rich kind of reporting, basically. So like there's a marketing use case for Join, the sales team's use case for Join, because you've got all of that reporting in
Yeah.
one place, and we want to be that kind of central hub, don't we?
Yeah, and I think to be very clear, it's all about adjacent data to the finance function. We're not trying to build out a BI product. We're not trying to appeal to that sort of deep dive data analysis piece. This is really about helping our core customers, our accountants, bookkeepers, CFOs, and finance team to bring in that data and be able to see that data holistically in one place. And just picking up, there's one thing on the far right on this slide, which is the customer generic database. We've had a lot of requests from customers asking for things that they might have built themselves, or there might be solutions that are not well known to other people. This will allow them to connect that API into Join and smoothly translate and transmit data into their, dashboards and reporting functions.
And alongside that as well, we've touched kind of very heavily on the kind of more non-financial data, but actually it's gonna give us an avenue into other accounting tools as well, isn't it, Lucian? So you can see here we've got Zoho Books, another one is
Heavily requested.
MYOB, heavily requested,
Yeah.
Datev in Germany and Switzerland. So it's going to open up avenues into other accounting systems without meaning that Join has to create a full integration, which obviously is difficult to meet all of the different reporting tools or accounting tools. It's going to give the user that flexibility to connect into their data points, which is great from our point of view, right? If you can connect into more accounting systems without us having to do all of the kind of heavy lifting.
Yeah.
Um, and then also like kind of we're very much believers at Join in my favorite phrase, which is called eating your own dog food in technology, where we build an application to solve an issue that we have. We want to then use it and make sure that we're harnessing it. So we get that kind of in our own team feedback to the product team about how it should be working as well, which is invaluable. So great case and example of that is the way that we're using the Join dashboard and the way that we're going to be using this Join incoming API. So on the screen in front of me, I've got kind of a dashboard with some mocked up demo data of a real dashboard that we use in-house and some of what we have in our kind of monthly board meetings and whatnot. You can see here that I've got some different dashboard tiles and it's pulling data, or I'm pulling data from Stripe. So I'm pulling in number of new subscribers and total cash banked each month. I'm pulling in number of new trials and number of demos from Freshworks, and then sorry, I'm pulling number of demos from my demo tool Calendly. And actually, at the moment, it's a download and an upload into Join. It's not a particularly tedious process or time consuming, but actually we want that to be live and instant so that all of these pieces are joined together. So I think we're going to just very quickly we're going to dive
Yeah.
into the that dashboard and just have a very quick look at that one. Just for some of the people that maybe aren't as familiar with Join and our dashboarding, I'm going to open that one up for you just a second. There we go. Okay, so Luce, just quick thumbs up that you can see that one.
All
Yeah,
good, Harry. All
perfect.
good.
That there would have been the old joke about, oh, a technology company that can't do their technology there, wouldn't it? Which would have been appropriate. So yeah, so like I said, this quick look at the dashboard. We've got multiple dashboards within our own suite of Join that are customizable, and then we all have our own that we can use, and the same for customers, right? So I've got this example one here where I've got the number of new subs that I'm tracking, non-financial data with my number of new trials and some cash figures. But then actually I'm combining it for kind of a richer suite of reporting for my revenue figures as well, which I'm pulling from Zero against budgets that are also pulling from Zero, and then my net profit as well, all being pulled into this one place. Um, which would be excellent once I've got this up and running and it's there, sat ready for me whenever I come in at my fingertips, which
Yeah.
is where we're
So
going to be in a couple of weeks, right?
yeah, and I think these dashboards are very configurable. They're drag and drop if you want to move them around. You can configure each widget independently. And as Harry said, we're going to automate with the API. Do you want to just leave it on a second? We want to automate that with the APIs coming in, so to give you that sort of richness of the data coming on a regular basis. And hot off the press, we're also going to be extending out our AI functionality, where you'll be able to create KPI widgets using the AI and then being able to surface that within the dashboard. So you'll be able to use a natural language to create those dashboards, using our AI toolkit, a Join Intelligence. So really exciting stuff, more coming down the pipe as usual. We always have an awful, very, very busy product map, and we keep delivering to you guys. So hopefully that's given you a flavour of what we're doing, and will be of benefit to you. Do you want to roll back to the slides, Harry? Okay. So shall we grab some questions? Harry, do you want to lead this one?
Yeah, perfect. Okay, so I've got one question that was pre-prepared and pre-sent in to me from someone who's in Australia who wasn't able to join today. So I'll answer that one first, and then hopefully that will give some time for some more questions to come in. Although I haven't been checking as we went through, so actually we might have some to read out anyway. Okay, so I'm just going to go down. Okay, so this first question was from Eva. Long time Join customer, about kind of 2 or 3 years now, from Australia. She wasn't able to join, and she was asking around what are our timelines for the non-financial data API, and are we ever going to have a direct connection to MYOB? So, Lou, shall I pose the first one to you about non-financial data?
Yes, and so in terms of MYOB, yes.
You take your pick, which one you'd like.
I'll go for the so just on the our thinking around been working with some external consultants who've been looking at bringing in other financial data, MYOB being one of them, Zoho Books being another, and we're going to be working with them. I've just been reading, so I was reading some of the questions coming in, and they're actually about other APIs, which is poignant to the finance APIs. And we will be working with them to surface some of these new APIs out to the customers. But the point I wanted to make as well, and this is what the external consultants were discussing with us, is they want to write their own APIs. So what they're going to be do is we'll surface the Join API, and they will write an API to connect into that. So the point I was going to make is it really does make it flexible, makes it very flexible. It makes it bespoke to what you guys need to do. So there will be some standard APIs that are being produced, but also there'll be opportunity to bespoke those and to deliver what your specific use case and business requirements need them to be.
Nice. So I think Lucian kind of covered them off both quite nice there. They're kind of working in progress, but very much so incoming API being worked on as we speak, with hope to kind of maybe get a minimal viable product out this year. I think we're hoping for. It might be early part of a kind of Q1 next year. Okay, so I've got a couple of other questions here, so I'll pull out some of these. Okay, so first one is from Charmaine, and Charmaine is saying around. Okay, so this is a great question actually here, Charmaine. So this is one about totals in Excel. So it's kind of long-standing thing that we've kind of, to be honest, let's be frank about it, kind of battled with how we were going to do this around pulling out live data into Excel. So at the moment, if you press download on a report in Join directly into Excel, it's not going to pull out the kind of underlying formula, which is kind of why we made the Excel plugin actually, which allows you to have that kind of live access, and you can build your Join reports back in Excel, and then you've got complete live feed of data as well. So hopefully, Charmaine, that kind of gave you a little insight into how that might work. Charmaine, though, also we'll touch base after you after this session, and we can talk through how that might work, and just make sure that I've understood the question correctly. if that's all okay with you. And I can see
Okay.
Charmaine's giving me a bit of a thumbs up, so that's good there.
So I've got another one from Alan. Great question around budgets, and will we be able to pull budgets from Excel into Join using the API? And the answer is yes. That's one of the key reasons for creating the incoming API, is that so we can add functionality from Excel coming into Join, so increased functionality, but also from things like Google Sheets, because I know whilst the majority of our customer base do love Excel, we do have a significant growing proportion that also like Google Sheets and other such data solutions. So the answer is yes, Alan. Looking forward to that coming along. And as usual, we'll be posting that all out on our support site for you guys to get involved.
Okay, so I've got a question here from Max around how like kind of basically how do you use the Zapier connection to join? So we've got some how-to articles and a how-to video that one of our developers, Rob, made actually on how this works. Both myself and Kyle, who's answering these questions behind closed doors in this session, have used this. We're non-technical, but we'll touch base after this one, and we'll be sharing more broadly anyway documentation around how to use that Zapier connection. So that one goes out to Max there. So then I've got a couple more questions, Lucian, for you. I'll kind of double up on these questions. So one is from Helen and one is from Philip. And it's basically it's almost word for word the same question, actually. Is there an incoming API coming for HubSpot? That's from Helen. And then Philip said, is there an incoming API coming for Super Control?
Okay, so the answer is not on the roadmap per se, but we are going to be taking requests. And HubSpot, as an example, will be a very popular one. You know, we highlighted Salesforce on our slide deck, but HubSpot is a really well-known and very highly utilized CRM. So there is a strong possibility that that will be coming down the pipe pretty soon. Super Control, Philip, I'm not so aware of that, but please, we'll stick that in the backlog and we'll get that working with the team. If if you've got a technical team or if you've got an API team or interface team, they will have all the documentation. So that's another thing. Once this goes live, there'll be full documentation of how the API works, what's available, and how you utilize it, using the OAuth and all the rest of it, the security controls around it. So by all means, you can crack on and start to build these things yourself. But if you don't have those capabilities, drop us a note. We've got it now here anyway, Philip. So we'll chuck it into our backlog. But yes, keep the suggestions coming, and we'll produce as much as we can and in the shortest timeframes. But no promises.
Yeah. Okay, so nice number of questions coming through here. So we'll go for a question from I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly, Zulma here. And this is around dashboarding and how to and can you kind of create dashboards for single entities when you have a group of companies? Zulma, we'll touch base with you on that one. But yeah, absolutely. Throughout the whole suite of join reporting, you can choose to report on the whole group, a combination of certain companies within the group, or just that single entity reporting as well. So you've got complete flexibility there. Zuma will touch base and we'll make sure that you're kind of caught up to speed on that one as well. I've got another question here from Alex Lucian. Nice quick one for you here. Can you pull in budgets from zero for multiple companies?
Well, the answer is simply yes.
Yeah.
Yes, of course
Automatic.
you can. Yes, you can. And just a couple of quickies on that one. We have got a support page which absolutely details all this out. If you don't know about it, drop a note to the team. But we're finding an awful lot with it. We've got our AI, our Join AI, which is our chat GBT approach, and you can ask that a question around these exact support questions. So if there are things that you're wanting to understand in a bit more detail, fire up Join AI, ask it the question, and very often it knows the answer. And if you're not happy with that, or if you're still confused, please reach out to support@join.co, and we're more than happy to support any of your queries. But the answer is yes, Alexander, and I can see that actually Carl's started to send a response back to you, so even better.
Perfect. Okay. Cool. Okay, so lots of questions coming in. We've got kind of about 3 or 4, maybe 3 minutes left before we kind of wrap up. So we'll comment on a couple more of these. One from Philip, not so much a question. I think it was just a statement, but Philip said, "Power BI is incredibly pernickety." Yeah, agree. Like it's super Power BI when you're exporting data into a system like that. Sometimes it can be super technical, beyond my capabilities. Um, that's kind of where those tools like Zapier come in to allow kind of no code solutions to that.
Absolutely.
I can't personally comment on a Power BI connection. I've seen some scripts that one of my developers, Tomek, runs, and I look at them and they are gibberish to me. So, Philip, just wanted to comment on that. I'm not adding any value whatsoever to what you said there. Um, Charmaine's asked if we could share a link to the support page. Kyle, if you could put that in the chat, please, and address it to everyone in here, that would be great. If you could do that for me, please.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We've got an anonymous one just come through. I'm just conscious of time, so we're gonna have to rattle through
Yeah,
these.
we'll call this as our last
Um,
one, I reckon.
okay, which was just about a custom report out of QBO using classes, and asking if we could do a custom report. Yes, yes, we can. So you can use Join to report by your classes and locations, and
Yeah,
and generate a custom report from that. Please have a if you're struggling again, support@join.co, or please do join AI and see if you can get the solution out of that. But yeah, if you and also just as another quick thing, please ask us if you need us to jump on a demo, if you want to have a quick 15 minutes just to run through a difficult problem. We are more than happy to help you. So yeah, don't forget we're on hand, and always happy to improve your guys' experience and how we can help you. One last one. Um, Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a great one. I'll finish on this one, which is about we've thought about this. We have actually got some customers using some CSV integrations, but we were thinking about how do we show this. The question was around if we got when we're using more integrations, could we showcase some examples of how people are using these as well? More than happy to do that. We'll do a follow up, whether that's via a video that we'll distribute to you guys. But yeah, absolutely great question. And again, early days, but we've already got some people using it from a CSV perspective. Once the API integrations come in, we'll run a couple of videos and show you the value that we're delivering.
I think now would be a great time to plug our recent case study with Warwick from Access Group, who like the anonymous attendee suggests, we've done a full use case and deep dive on how they're using Join with the Excel plugin, the first of our kind of new API integrations. So give that one a read, but lots more coming on that space as well.
Good, good. I think we are still got a few questions outstanding. We will answer all the questions, and Carl's in the background, been doing a great job of responding to everybody. We will continue to do that. If post this webinar, you've got any more questions whatsoever, please reach out. I can't stress enough. We love hearing from you. We love supporting you guys, and yeah, it's absolutely part of what we do. So yeah, please, if you come off the call and there's something else you want to ask us, reach out and we'll support you. Harry, do you want to just talk about the offer today?
Yeah, so we're running kind of like Nick's Charmaine, keep the questions coming. Charmaine said there's going to be a few more questions coming from her, which we appreciate. Yeah, so the offer today is for people that are new to join, 30-day free trial offer when we usually offer 14 days. All you have to do is scan this QR code, and it will automatically sign you up for that extended trial. Please make sure you do that before December the 15th. Yes, it is December the 15th. It says there on the screen to make sure you kind of redeem that one. And make the most out of Join. Try some of our connections, try some reporting, delve into it and try and kind of kind of replicate what you're doing elsewhere and see the kind of value it brings. But very much invite you to jump in, give it a go. Super simple to use. Most customers are getting their first point of value, so their first consolidated report within 6.5 minutes um, of signing up. So that's kind of really nice value that will give you kind of a bit of oomph to keep going with it straight away. So I think we'll close it there and just say, everyone, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Appreciate everyone joining these sessions. I can see lots of names that have been here throughout, so really appreciate it. Um, and goodbye from me.
And goodbye from me, and thank you very much. All the best.
Thank you, and we'll be reaching out, getting back to you with recordings and questions as well, everyone.
Yeah. Thank
Bye
you.
bye.